What's going on, y'all? I'm back. There was another video that I wanted to do before going in. So I'm going to continue with the alchemy thing. So there is a term alchemists use, which is tenacity and... Oh, sorry, not a term. It's a philosophy called tenacity and selfishness. And see, modern society or modern Western society has taught man to snuff himself out, and philosophers like Nietzsche and Jung have blamed this on Christianity, and I agree with this, because Christianity has taught people that being meek, being humble, being poor were virtues. And this kind of led to what they call the slave morality. So let me explain this a little bit. So men have to determine their own morality. They have to determine what's good for themselves and what's good for those around them. In society, we tend to, because we're social animals, we tend to downplay ourselves. We tend to reject things about us that are true to us, right? In order to fit in. People love to say, I'm not a conformist. I'm a nonconformist, but actually you are. Most people are conformists. There are thoughts that you have, and you answer this for yourself. There are thoughts that you have and beliefs that you harbor that don't fit in with what society believes. Quite often, people profess their support for a cause or a subject, or their dislike of that cause or subject according to what everyone around them thinks, right? I'll give an example. The whole homosexuality, gay thing. Most black folks, and I don't know about white folks, and because I ain't around them, and Filipinos, I do know about Filipinos. Most of them do not want their kids to be gay. And they tolerate it. They don't necessarily like it. And I suspect that deep down inside they disapprove of it, but they can't say it. And they can't say it because society has made it taboo to dislike it. Society has taught people that you have to respect it. You have to accept it. This is just how people are. And you guys have seen my videos. I'm not gonna say I disapprove, but I'm not. Yeah. Fuck it. I disapprove. All right. I disapprove. I don't like it. I don't dislike gays, but I think homosexuality is a result of something that should be fixed in a person. I believe, and you motherfuckers, y'all know I'm telling the truth. It's just that people have to act shocked, like, oh, I can't believe it just said that. Look, if these girls weren't out here getting molested by neighbors and relatives and stuff like that, do you think most of them would end up gay? Because I tell you this, we all know women who have said, I'm gay because my uncle touched me. Okay? So don't act like they ain't got shit to do with it. So molestation has to be fixed. Broken relationships with parents have to be fixed. Teasing children, right? I got a friend, thank God she's not on my channel, but she don't see my channel. But she has a son who's effeminate. The boy has not grown up around any men at all. Like, even when she's had boyfriends, they don't even meet the little man. Okay? The boy's effeminate because he's around women all the time. He picks up their habits and their mannerisms and things like that. And people are calling him, names that you call a gay person. and they do it jokingly, trying to act like it's out of love. But now he's a little boy, so he's maybe 8 or 9 years old. That kind of treatment can make someone become gay, or it can make them become homophobic. You see what I'm saying? So those things can be and should be fixed. So anyway, going back to the subject, that we determine what's right for us, and we determine what's right for people around us. Now, most of us don't have the kind of power that it takes to impose our morals on someone else. So for that reason, many things that we, like, I believe in polygamy, I believe in polyamory, you know, I don't believe that sex is something that should bind you to another person. To me, it's just sex. I understand that when you have sex with someone, you are emotionally bound to them, but it doesn't have to be that way. If somebody decides that they don't want relationship and they just want to freely have sex, I don't consider that a bad thing, where religions, Islam, Christianity, teaches people that's wrong and it's immoral. So, touching on the Übermensch, you know, Nietzsche's philosophy, that the higher man does not allow society and those around us and religions to tell us what's right and what's wrong. We create our own set of morals. You understand? So in order for a person to reach the highest expression of themselves, they have to be in touch with self-deification. You have to be in touch with your inner self, right? When I talked about the shadow, everybody carries a shadow, and the shadow is the part of us that really is us, that we suppress in order to fit in with other people. And conforming that I'm talking about, that conformist in us, has us adjust our behavior, or adjust things that we say, even things that we think, because other people feel that way. And sometimes we do it to fit in, sometimes we adopt other people's morals, right? So I'll give an example. I don't have a problem with teenagers getting married. If I could have married my children off, and I would have if I had brought them here to the Philippines, I would have married them off as teenagers. I do not want my kids going through life, adult life, single, sleeping around, doing all. I want them to get their lives established when they're young. And you guys know your grandparents got married really young, and they accomplished a lot in spite of what they were up against, right? And for some reason, we have adopted the white man's value system, and says, no, children should, you know, young people should wait, right? But if you look at the country all of us come from, even that European, where he comes from, they're getting married early. But many do get married early, okay? So, and then some people, of course, never question themselves. So their value system, their morals have been adopted from people that are around them, and they've never even questioned, why do I feel this way? Or do I feel this way, but is it the right way? You know, a lot of Muslims, a lot of people grow up as Muslims, don't question Islam. You know, do I really feel like this is okay? And of course, Christians feel the same way. Now, the whole thing about the slave morality is that, and I don't know, chicken before the egg, if Christianity was molded to attract more people to it, or did people mold Christianity when they came to it? Now, let me explain that. In slave morality, we will justify our positions as slaves, as working class people, as people who are not leaders, not the elite, not the rich. And we will develop a whole set of morals around the fact that we are slaves, right? I'm not rich, but I teach people that being poor is some sort of virtue, right? So I say things like, a camel will go through the eye of a needle before a rich man enter kingdom. Why is that? Is there something wrong with being rich? And we often make enemies of that which we are not, and we really don't know why. We say, oh, in order for him to get rich, he must be greedy and selfish and things like that. Okay, so is it so wrong to put myself first? Right? That's another thing that comes out of Christianity, is that altruism. We're supposed to put other people before ourselves. We're supposed to be giving and things like that. And it's crazy that we teach ourselves this, but our churches are not required to give. We give 10% of everything we make. If you believe in Christianity, we give 3.5% of everything we make if we're Muslim. But we don't require the same of our churches, right? And anyway, I'm getting off the subject. But the bottom line is, in order for you to reach the highest peak of yourself, in order for you to reach the highest version of yourself, you must be selfish. You must put yourself first, okay? And get out of your mind that doing so is immoral, that it's wrong. You have to put yourself first. Now, if we're talking about as a parent, as kids, parents of children, if I don't strengthen myself first, I can't do much for my children. You see what I'm saying? And in a way, you have to be selfish to yourself. Now, I'm not saying neglect your kids in order to have nice things, nice shoes, and eat out in restaurants while they're eating peanut butter sandwiches at home. I'm not saying that. That's different. What I'm saying is, I will take care of myself. I will strengthen myself in order to be a better version of myself, so that I can be a better husband, better father, better member of this society. You see what I'm saying? So, anyway, then in the pursuit of self-perfection, because we have to be in a constant state of self-improvement until we reach perfection, and this little side thing, perfection is a never-ending process, so you never arrive at perfection. It is the pursuit of perfection that makes you a higher human, right? If I'm the best boxer in the world, I don't stop training because I'm the best already. I have to continue training because I want to continue being the best. What good does it do to win today if I lose tomorrow? If I'm the greatest warrior in the days when gladiators fought life or death fights, what good is it for me to be a great fighter today if I get killed tomorrow? So I have to live in a way where I'm prepared to fight and do what I did tomorrow, what I did today. Okay, so in order to be a higher version of yourself, you have to be the same way. You have to continually improve. You have to continually focus on yourself, even if I'm focusing on myself to become better for what I am to other people, like my wife and my children and my family, my mother, things like that. Okay, so understand that. Then the persistence. So we have to be fierce in our commitment, in our discipline, in our pain tolerance to achieve our goals. And that's one of the things that separates the alchemists from everybody else. It's not that you can't get rich. It's not that people can't get rich. It's that people who become rich never stop trying to become rich. Many of you do stop you do stop trying. You don't have the tenacity that that the alchemists or the rich have. You think about, I worked at the post office years ago when I was in college, and I remember towards the end of the semester we were starting to get a lot of hours. Now I couldn't do those hours because I was in school. I had to get up the next day and go to school. But there were a lot of people who were bitching and moaning, and I kept saying to myself, why are they not wanting to do overtime? You're going to make more money. It's 2 times a year that the post office gives crazy overtime when your checks, now mind you, this was 1992, 1993, when the minimum wage was like $5 an hour or something, $6 an hour, and we were bringing in like $1,000 a week. That was a lot of money back in those days. And the only obstacle I had to making that money was school. But when school let out, you best believe I worked every fucking overtime they offered me. You know what I'm saying? But I couldn't understand where I saw people bitching and moaning about the amount of work that we had. And then when the supervisor rolled through with the little list, who wants to sign up, overtime desired list, they were, fuck no, I ain't signing that shit. I'm like, are you crazy? And then in the middle of the school year, the middle of the year, they're complaining about they ain't got enough money. Alchemy mindset. You want more money? Go fucking get it. But a lot of people don't have that tenacity. Most people don't have that perseverance. They don't have that pain tolerance, that discipline. Good Lord, Christmas season for the post office lasts 3 months. It starts in December, ends in January. And 3 months out of the year, you can't give up your schedule in order to make more money and increase your bank account, your annual earnings by $10,000-$15,000 or more, maybe. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Some people have it in them to make shit happen, and other people don't. And a lot of the people that don't have that tenacity, that perseverance, they're the biggest complainers. Where as an alchemist, you want and you go get, and you stop at nothing to get it. You don't let anything discourage you from it, right? You don't let anything stop you. Things may slow you down, but you don't let it stop you, and that's what I mean by that. Many people have gotten rich by reducing their spending. Seriously, just by reducing their spending, by working more, and saving, by aggressively saving. And what happens is you get to a point where you get 100. You can get 100 if you make, let's say, 60,000 a year, right? You live off of 30. You live off of 30 grand. You live off of half your salary. At 60,000, which is not a whole lot of money, you'll have 100 grand in 3 fucking years. But some people don't have the discipline. They can't even go. They can't even miss Black Friday one fucking year to put a couple extra thousand, to keep a couple extra $1,000 in the bank. They don't have that kind of pain tolerance to put up with that. Really, you're that much a slave to being a consumer that you can't deny yourself one fucking day to put a little extra money? Think about this. What was the average tax refund that you get every year in May or April? All right. What's the average tax refund that you get? What, maybe 4 grand, 5 grand if you're a single parent, right? In 10 years, you would have saved $50,000 had you taken those what do you call it? Taken those refund checks and not spent it. You'd have had 50 grand extra in your savings. But what do? We blow it every year. So in the alchemy lifestyle, you have to be fierce and aggressive in getting what you want, which means you have to be tough enough to turn down your lower self. You have to get your urges to spend under control. You have to master those things, right? And then when we talk about mastering the self, that's one way you master yourself. That, you ever have this experience where you go to the bank and you check your account and you're like, fuck, where did all the money go? Now you're pissed off at yourself because you spent more money than you realize it. And there are people who go years, paycheck after pay period after pay period, angry every payday, right before payday, checking their balance saying, how the fuck did I spend all this money? They never got control over themselves. And being fiercely committed to a goal, you never lose control that way, right? There's dudes out here that can't hold on to relationships because they can't stop flirting. You got, like I said, when it comes to money, you have people who can't manage their money because they can't stop spending. You got people walking around with health problems, diabetes and heart problems and cholesterol and all this kind of stuff, because they don't have the discipline to not go into fast food, because they don't have the discipline to go walking 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes a day. Some people sit on a fucking toilet 30 minutes a day. And all you have to do is walk around the block for 30 minutes to improve your health. Maybe reduce your weight by maybe a pound or 2 a month. Right? 2 pounds a month is 24 pounds a year. You certainly could do that, but there are people who go 15, 20, 30, 40 years overweight, bitching the entire time about, oh, I gotta get this weight down, I can't believe, and before you know it, you got diabetes and health problems, and it's too late. Even if you lose weight, your health is still bad. I'm gonna throw this out at you. Success is the accumulation, because life accumulates. Success is the accumulation of small disciplines practiced every day. That's from Jim Rohn. Success is the accumulation of small disciplines, right? Eating an apple a day, not eating a donut with your coffee every day, going to the gym 4 days a week for an hour, or walking 30 minutes a day, right? That will result in good health. Dating your wife, right? You already got in a relationship. That's something I probably should do a video on that. You're already in a relationship with this woman, and many guys, they say, well, I lost the fire. Now, this is something you ain't gonna hear too many people say this. Some guys cheat because they can't get their dick up for their woman. That's a little embarrassing. Not too many people admit that. Some guys cheat because they can't get their dick up for the woman. Why is that? I can get my dick up for a broad on the street, somebody at the job, but I can't get it up for my woman. And the reason for that is that they stopped the discipline of pursuing their woman after they want her. You know, ain't no dude more attentive to a woman than a guy who ain't fucked yet. Y'all know him, right? If there's a chick and I want to get in her pants, she's getting crazy attention from me until I get them draws. And what happens is, for a lot of guys, after they get the girl, they stop doing those things. And one of the side effects of not continuing to pursue your wife is that you lose the attraction for her. You stop flirting with her. You stop seeing her as beautiful. She's just a woman. You know what I mean? You stop trying to find new ways to sweep her off her feet. And those things do affect your sex life. Now, I ain't no marriage counselor or anything like that, but just knowing how relationships work, relationships have to be renewed, you know? I'll tell you a little story about my second wife. You guys know I remarried her. My second wife, we divorced after only 2 years. We were only together 2 years. But for 18 years, we were friends. She was married to one person. I was married to somebody else. Actually, we divorced and married, divorced and married. No matter what was going on, I always flirted with her. I flirted with her actually as a friend. You know what I mean? I'd called her beautiful all the time. She was beautiful. But I wasn't like pursuing it. I wasn't trying to hit it and none of that kind of stuff. I just flirted with her. But what I ended up doing was rekindling the friendship that we had. And I realized at the end of her life that that I had more love for her than I had for any other woman. And it is because the attention that you pour out for a woman it's seductive. It's seductive to her, but it's seductive to you as well. That the more you flirt with a woman, the closer it draws you to her, right? Of course, it'll turn her on and get her excited about you, but it'll also get you excited about her. And now y'all know I ain't been married very long. I mean, none of my marriages lasted a long time. But just from my 24-year friendship with my late wife, I discovered that by rebuilding and doing all the things that a new guy would have done with the woman, actually builds that bond even stronger between you and that woman. And I'll just say, when it comes to sex, with me and her, it was like popping every single time. I mean, of course, we did fool around every once in a while. But that was because of that continuing bond. Now, tell you about my grandfather, my maternal grandparents, I should say. So Mama and Papa, which is my mom's parents, we came back from the Philippines in 1990, and I stayed with my mom for a couple months until I went into the military. And my younger brother had my room, and my grandfather had built out the basement, so I moved into a bedroom downstairs, which is right next to my grandparents' room. So Papa was 78 when he died. That was 1990, so he was 75. My grandfather was 75, and he was hitting that every fucking night. Oh, that was so disgusting. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, I'm seriously, they were fucking every night. It got so bad that I slept on the couch, and my brother was like, I have another brother, I have two brothers. My brother, who's 2 years before me, he was like, man, I'll stay in that room. He went down there the next day, he was like, yo, they still fucking. But the thing was, my grandfather was constantly flirting with my grandmother. And we saw that growing up, just watching him do that. You know what I'm saying? So, and plus my grandfather being a martial artist, he was always fit, so he was always healthy. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, they had a strong sex drive. I mean, 10 kids, you know, so, you know, they were doing a lot of fucking. So, oh, but anyway, I'm sorry. I digress. So success is the accumulation of disciplines, and a discipline is something that the average person does not do, right? The average person does not eat healthy all the time. The average person does not work out all the time. The average person does not study. When you get a job, yeah, you get paid to go to work Monday through Friday, whatever your hours are, right? And do the job. Everybody does that. If you do that, you stay there 20 years, 30 years, you retire from that job. You may make, you know, you get raises, you'll get your promotions, but the discipline is going above and beyond, right? First one in, last one out. When they say work at, you know, they give you quotas, right? Exceed the quota. You learn more about the job, maybe go to different departments and learn as much as you can in order to understand your job better, right? Volunteer for things, maybe take the seminars, read the books, take the workshops, you know, do all the trainings, things like that. Those are disciplines, and what happens is when you do things like that, you end up more valuable on the job. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna have to come back to that. Oh my God, 28 minutes. Jesus. Okay, so anyway, the opposite of success is failure, and the definition of failure is the accumulation of mistakes made every day. Eating out every day, spending money every day, being late every day. The accumulation, because life accumulates. Either it's going to accumulate the problems or it's going to accumulate the advantages. It's going to accumulate the positive or it's going to accumulate the negative. And if you're talking about 20 years of exercising every day, which is a discipline, or 20 years of sitting on your ass eating junk food every day, you end up out of shape and unhealthy. Two totally different things, right? On one hand, a life of discipline leads to a successful, healthy person. The accumulation of 20 years of mistakes leads to unhealthy. It's the same thing when it comes to money. It's the same thing when it comes to career, when it comes to education, when it comes to your relationships. Either I can spend 20 years and building on that relationship, or I can spend 20 years of fucking up. And life doesn't give you what you want. Life doesn't even give you what you need. Life gives you what you deserve. And the alchemist understands that everything that happens to us in life, we earn it. Now, of course, some things will happen that you didn't earn. A guy breaks in your house, or you get cheated on in a marriage or something like that. That's different. But generally, everything that happens to us, we've earned it. We deserve it based on what we've done with life. Okay, and so the alchemist lives his life in a way that he knows he will earn exactly what he wants. Why? Because he disciplines himself to get it. And that's, matter of fact, I could probably use this as a definition of alchemy, but I'm gonna get even deeper as we go along. Okay, so we're at 30 minutes. You guys have a good day, and I'll do another video another time. Peace.